Hey guys, Tara Ryan here. And today's tip from Tara is about a new roof, how we incorporate that into our loan to get this deal to close, and how it impacts you when you're dealing with your client. So here's the situation. Our buyers were purchasing a property, and of course the roof was very old, but still working. So on the home inspection, it said, yeah, likely to be replaced in the next 1 to 2 years. The agent, being very savvy, was like, let's see what we can do with this, and worked with the current owner of the home to see if they had an opportunity to file a claim. The roofer says, yeah, I think you do have a legitimate claim here. And the claim is in process to try to get a new roof on this home. They had negotiated a plan B of a reduction in the sales price in case the claim was denied. Well, as time went on, we found, the closing date is coming, but we haven't heard back on the claim. So which way do we go? The buyers, of course, would be better off with the full roof if the claim goes through. But we don't have the luxury of waiting around to find out what will happen. So we worked together to come up with a solution where we actually held some funds in escrow. So that's the reduction in the sales price is being held in escrow. And then depending on which way the claim goes, we'll either refund that money back to the seller if there's a new roof, or we will send those funds to the roofer and for the buyer to pay the rest to get the new roof either way. So long story short, we were able to come up with a system to allow the buyer to close, to have an addendum that will survive closing, and for Fairway to hold some of the funds to make everybody happy and feel good about the process. What's your takeaway from this? Be very, very careful when you're trying to do this type of thing. You need to know who your lender is and be in great communication with them about what you can and can't do. Things like giving a check to the vendor or giving the money back to the buyer are things that may or may not be allowed depending on the lender and the loan type. In this case, for example, the buyer was like, well, yeah, the money's going in escrow, but why won't you release it to me later? I'm like, we can't release money directly into the buyer's hands. In most situations, that would not be acceptable. But sending it to the roofer with an invoice and a new roof, that we can do. So we came up with a solution that works. So the first takeaway, talk to your lender. Get the solutions before you present them to your client. Let's make sure we're coming up with things that we can actually do. But two, be very wary if you don't know the lender. In this particular case, it's totally fine to talk to me about the roof and the situation, and we can craft a solution and all on top of it together. But had this client gone to a bank or a credit union or some unknown lender, there was every possibility that not only would they have not come up with the solution, but they also may not have been able to close until they had a new roof. Okay. You got to be very, very careful when you talk about needing a new roof. If it's not a sophisticated lender, they may just say, oh, you got a roof problem. We need a new roof or we can't close. Or give me an inspection showing that you don't need a new roof, which might have been difficult to do in this case. So be very, very careful. Know who you're working with. And yet one more reason for even the most qualified buyers, even buyers that we have no issue with their pre-approval. So they feel like, well, heck, I can go to any lender because I'm so easy. Anybody can do it. You can't ever know. Could you find a problem with the property where some real lender expertise will come in handy? So it's a good news story. I'm so happy for this agent and this home buyer and wanted to share the good news with you because you might be able to use some of these tips for your transactions. Have a wonderful Memorial weekend.